Another day has begun. Up and ate and everything put away and on the trail. Water filtered on the trail by 6 o'clock. That's the way I like it. Nice and crisp. Everybody else still asleep. They piled in last night, I'm telling you. I got my tent set up and was really taking my time doing that too. And one gentleman rolled in, and then he's a flip-flopper that started. Oh, where did he start? Harper's Ferry. Yeah, he started at Harper's Ferry. Met so many different flip-floppers, and they all seem to start from different places. But anyway, was talking to him for a little bit, and then I went and started to make my dinner up at the shelter where the table is, and then they just start rolling in one after another after another. Only other person I knew there that came in was Piper. He was the guy that I ran into at Harriman Park that day. It was raining, and we was doing that road walk pretty much at the same time. Don't really know him, but I've met him before. Then, man, there was probably another 10 or 12 come in, just one or two at a time. For quite some time. You've seen the tents out there. It's going to be a lot worse when the bubble comes through, but it was definitely a packed house. The shelter itself was packed. I think 5 or 6 people was sleeping underneath the shelter, and then everybody else was in the tent, and I think there was 7 tents out there, if I counted right. It's not whether I counted right or not, it's whether I remember right or not. And if you could tell right now, I'm climbing down on rocks. Good thing is it hasn't started raining yet today, so the rocks aren't slippery, which is going to come in handy for Caleb's Peak, which I will be climbing up next. And I hear it's really rocky, so I don't really want wet rock on that. So looks like I'm going to beat that today because the weather kind of changed. It was supposed to be a chance of rain all day long, and now it's like starting at 11. So that's a good thing. I'll be up and down long before then. But I'm thinking about stopping today at not really a hostel, a gentleman that gives up space at his farm. Comes picks you up right there at the trail from where his farm is, and get a warm bed, a shower, laundry. So I'm thinking about doing that today. Here in about 11 or 12 miles. Be a shorter day. That way I can take most of the day and rest this ankle. The ankle seems to be much better right now. It's still there. Obviously the ankle's still there, but the pain is still there, but nowhere near as what it has been. So I'm thinking that it's making progress. And the fact that I'm, kind of taking it easy these days. I'm still doing my miles. Still getting my miles. Today won't be. Today will be a shorter day, but still getting the miles in that I need each day. But more importantly is healing that ankle up, because the future of getting miles in is what's important. I don't want the ankle to give out on me where I have to get off the trail and stop. But anyway, going to continue on. Caleb's Peak is next. I believe up there is Caleb's Peak, which is where I'm getting ready to climb. Beautiful morning. Birds singing their beautiful songs. Here's a nice view early in the morning. Right down here is Kent, Connecticut. Down there is the river that I'll be walking along for a few miles later today. Gorgeous views. Yeah, baby. standing on the summit of Caleb's Peak in Connecticut. Beautiful view in the background. It was not that hard. It wasn't even that rocky. It was actually quite pleasant for a trail coming up a mountain. So the comments and reviews I've seen about this mountain, about it being tough, maybe it's the the northbound part of the trail, or the north side, I should say, of the mountain that I'll be going down, descending. Maybe it's for the southbound or for the AT. So I'll find out when I go down that, but all I know is Caleb's Peak is in the bag. So the descent on Caleb's Peak, which is the north side of the mountain, is definitely rockier. Still not that bad. I've seen worse in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. No scrambling. It's just steep with like some rock steps that really aren't made for bigger feet. And some of them are slanted, so not that big a deal. You just take your time. If they're wet, obviously take even more time. But there's something to grab onto at all times. There's little trees there you can grab onto for balance and stability, and then, other rocks. So it wasn't that bad at all. The comments that people make, like on Far Out or just in general, sometimes I think they're just making to try to put fear into people's hearts and minds. It's like I couldn't really imagine this mountain being that tough, only being about a 1,200 foot mountain. I mean, it could be steep, obviously, and it was at times, but nothing bad. Like I said, kind of cruisy trail going up. But I don't know, people get in their minds, and it always depends, like the time of day too. Somebody's tired or had a long day by the time they get to it, then yeah, that's going to be a little tougher. But all in all, that wasn't that bad at all. So Caleb's Peak is in the bag, and that's not the only summit in Connecticut that I'll be dealing with. So I love it. Keep them coming, and take whatever it brings us. So right here's the section that comes down that people were talking about. That's you wouldn't want to do wet and real steep. And they are right. I stand corrected. I can admit when I'm wrong. This is definitely a really steep area. Would not want to do it wet. Like here, it's a good almost 6 foot drop. Really nothing to step on. I've went through 80% of it right now, and this is still going down. It's just a lot of like taking it easy on the steps and the rocks. Most of it was definitely something that I had to keep focus on, so I wasn't even able to record it. But as you could see, you just have like these steps which have the leaves on it, and that makes it slippery enough. But you definitely want to go fast in the rain. But my problem is right now is the ankle, making me go really slow. I mean, I'm kind of going slow right now because of the camera too. But see, like there, just the way I had to do my ankle, it made me twist my body, which made me run into this big boulder right here. Hey, there's a blaze. But anyway, I'm going to keep going down here, get down. I'm almost down to the bottom, but definitely a little tougher right here. It's not quite after the peak. It's about half a mile after the peak. It gets pretty steep and bouldery. And that is why it's real steep going down there for a bit. You're basically going over this big rock wall without actually rock climbing. So you're doing some scrambling down some big boulders. But it looks like the end is here for that. Which is, my ankle says thank you. I say thank you. It was fun, but wrong day to do it, I guess. Maybe some other day that would be more fun. The trail follows this dirt road for, it's hard to tell according to the map, it's at least 1 mile, but it could be up to 4 miles. It veers off at one point, and I don't know if that's still a dirt road and just gets more narrow or what the deal is, but it basically runs right along the river, which is right over there on the other side of these trees. I don't know if you can see it through there. Just runs right along that river for the next 4 miles. And it might all be road the whole time, so definitely It's not good on my ankle right now for some reason. Like I said yesterday, flat and going down tends to hurt it, but when I go up, I don't feel any pain at all. So whatever motion I use when I'm walking flat, at least it's not hard concrete, at least it's a dirt road. Because it is definitely puts a little more pressure on it, but yeah, when it's a hard surface, it's even worse. So I'm glad to be down from those rocks and get some miles built up here, make my average better today, because my average is going to stink without it. I think it was like 1.9 miles an hour right now for the day, and I'm normally like at 2.5 to 2.7 by the end of the day. Usually I start off like 2.9, but did not start off like that today. Just call me limp. Fortune's limping his way through the Appalachian Trail. It's all gonna be fine, though. I'm not worried. I'm gonna enjoy this dirt road and a nice cloudy day with the beautiful trees and the beautiful river to my right. Still cruising alongside this river. Not really up or down, just flat all the way across it. So it's probably going to be this way for the next couple miles. wow, look at these. Some of these years on here. You can definitely tell these are older gravestones. I've always liked, as dark as it is, because it is obviously, you know, a field of death. It's always been pretty cool to me seeing the old ones. Wow, these are definitely old. Some of you can't even read, but I've seen one that said 1830. That's pretty cool looking though. So that house I showed you right before here, that is a place I'm staying. It's kind of like a hostel, a little bunk area for hikers as they come through Connecticut. Finally made it here. Got my phone charged up, ate some dinner, and right there, that house is a little hostel I'm staying in here in Connecticut before heading back to the trail, letting my ankle rest up and everything. So more on that a little later.